This man is named Sagan. He almost lost his beautiful wife because he didn't speak up. The story begins a few days ago when a redhead girl was led into the forest by someone she knew. Unexpectedly, this person turned out to be a magician disguised as an acquaintance, intending to peel off her face alive for a ritual. The noise attracted the real master of the territory, Sagan. Upon seeing Sagan, the magician panicked and claimed they were fellow magicians, offering to share his research with Sagan. However, Sagan was not interested in research that involved skinning. In the presence of the redhead, he accidentally crushed the magician's head with his strong grip, knocking her unconscious. He quickly used a reversal spell to make it seem like nothing had happened. Unbeknownst to him, the girl was affiliated with the church, known enemies of magicians. Sagan initially planned to leave her on the streets, but his friend Bar intervened. Bar found it unusual that Sagan, a magician who could manipulate life and possibly live for 1,000 years, would disregard such a valuable subject. He also brought news of a powerful magician, known as a Demon King, who had died. This Demon King was not a demon, but a magician with immense magical power, who treated lower-level magicians as slaves. 13 such powerful magicians existed, including the oldest who had recently died. His belongings were to be auctioned off, and Bar, short on money, sought Sagan's help to buy something. On their way to the auction, they encountered church members. Bar mentioned recent cases of girl abductions by magicians likely experimenting on them, which Sagan scorned, suspecting absurd motives like summoning demons. However, Bar revealed that Sagan was the prime suspect in these cases. At the auction, Sagan noticed many powerful magicians, candidates to become the next Demon King, including Bar. The remaining 12 kings were still discussing who would be chosen. While the two talked, other magicians discussed them as well, acknowledging Bar's fame and surprisingly considering Sagan a candidate too. At the auction, the staff announced the start of the event. The first item up for bid was an order made by a deceased Demon King, which had never been delivered to him. When they revealed what it was, to everyone's surprise, it was an elf captured from the sacred lands in the north. A legendary creature. Elves are considered the closest beings to gods on this continent, and this elf girl with pure white hair was a rarity even among her kind. She could be used for magical experiments or as a slave, both highly valued uses. Yet, before the bidding could start, Sagan immediately offered 1 million. Bar was shocked. She wasn't worth that much. But Bar couldn't have known that Sagan had simply fallen in love at first sight with the white-haired elf. He thought Sagan had some special experiments in mind, especially when Sagan flashed a terrifying smile, causing a shiver to run through him. After winning the bid for the elf, Sagan jumped down eager to greet her. Unfortunately, he lacked finesse, which he would have known had he read more about the art of conversation. The staff informed him of the elf's powerful magic and their uncertainty about how to release her without the risk of her escaping. Sagan wanted to know if the elf could speak without harming her voice, blurting out, "It would be a headache if she couldn't produce beautiful sounds." This eerie comment made everyone tremble. Sagan named the elf girl Nephilia and took her back to his castle, filled with thoughts of how to start a conversation. However, the castle looked more like a torture chamber, and Sagan regretted not cleaning it first. To his surprise, Nephilia spoke first, asking how he planned to kill her so she could prepare herself. Sagan panicked and stood up, saying he couldn't bear if Nephilia died, but her gaze fell on the torture devices nearby, misunderstanding that he didn't plan to grant her a quick death. Sagan was flustered and couldn't explain that those were from the castle's former owner, and he just hadn't bothered to clean them up. He introduced himself, assuring her he had no interest in torture. It was then that Sagan learned Nephilia had no surname. Regardless, he found her name adorable. Nephilia revealed she was considered a cursed child by her people, and misunderstood Sagan's interest in her purity for ritualistic purposes.
ご安心ください。私は処女です。
Nephilia then asked Sagan why he bought her. Embarrassed to admit his love at first sight, which sounded creepy, he was nervous, yet excited about living under the same roof as her. Despite his anxiety, Sagan composed himself and offered her the choice of a room. Nephilia didn't understand why he was doing this. Sagan realized that she must have been indoctrinated with the idea that slaves could be killed at any time. Coupled with her claim of being a cursed child, It seemed she had nowhere to return. This reminded Sagan of his past self. So, he told Nephilia he needed her, and urged her not to speak of death. He asked her to live for herself. When choosing her room, he thought of one with a nice view and asked if she was afraid of heights. Nephilia mistakenly thought she was to be hung and tortured. As Sagan led her upstairs to prevent her from falling, he was secretly pleased yet embarrassed as he held her hand. But when the door opened, there was a guillotine inside. Sagan quickly shut the door and destroyed the guillotine with a blast of magic. Nephilia was shocked, having never seen such powerful magic. However, gazing at the distant moon, she decided to stay in the room that Sagan had bombed because he chose it for her. While the bombed room was currently uninhabitable, Sagan had her sleep in the castle, staying nearby. Though eager, he worried about being disliked by Nephilia, and hence refrained from doing anything. Hungry, he went to find food. Discovering Nephilia awake, he quickly brought her breakfast. Due to his lack of recent social interaction, he struggled with how to greet her. Sagan couldn't understand when he had become such a useless person. Nephilia looked very nervous. She stated that as a slave, any food was fine, but the food seemed too coarse for an owner like Sagan. He then realized that what he was eating barely qualified as food, more like fodder, earning Nephilia's sympathetic gaze. Unaware of the taste of normal human food, Sagan was moved when Nephilia offered to cook, his face flushed with excitement at the thought of his crush's homemade meals. He immediately decided to take Nephilia shopping in town. However, on the ride, he remembered impulsively spending all his savings of 1 million at the auction. He needed to find a way to make money and regretted not robbing the coachman. Yet, he thought better of it, considering Nephilia's presence. Sagan even contemplated selling the castle and opening a restaurant with Nephilia.